Hi all. We're waiting for some people currently to jump in the call. Welcome. Good afternoon, Ella. Thanks for saying hi. Hey, Marion, good to see you too. Hey. In the meantime, we're waiting for everyone to join, so let's give them a couple of minutes. Welcome, everyone. Good to see you all. We're still waiting a bit for people to join, so let's give some time. Hey all, welcome for the ones who just joined. I will wait one more minute and then we're going to kick it off. Good to see all these faces after a long weekend off, at least for the Netherlands.
In Germany, I know, for sure.
Good to hear, yeah. Nice to see this crowd, this huge crowd. Okay. Okay, and I think in the meantime, when other people will join, they can join, of course. First of all, already to share with you, this session will be recorded. So if you don't like it, you can always switch off your camera. That's absolutely fine. Yes, I already mentioned welcome to everyone. Today we're going to dive into a super exciting topic. And I'm also excited to see all of you in this crowd. So first of all, thanks for joining already. Today we're going to dive into a topic, and I think it's actually a topic which a lot of organizations are facing. It's about retention, and today we're going to dive into a business case of Flix. And it's about how Flix retains top performing talent with strategic upskilling. I find it super inspiring to have my conversation with Alberto and to hear from his side how Flix is facing this challenge. And we're going to dive into the topic together. Before I'm going to introduce Alberto, you might be asking who is talking to you. So it's me, it's Juliet. I work as a strategic account manager at Lepaya. And to be honest, my mission is to work with people like you, all L&D professionals, and to make sure that you work as true strategic business partners. And I love it to dive into these kind of business challenges. For example, we are going to explore about today. And I really like it to dive into the topics and to make sure together we explore on it, but also we make sure we provide you with the best L&D solutions. And this is also what we do at Lepaya. So let me show you a bit about Lepaya, because I don't know if you are familiar with it. And then in the meantime, my screen has been frozen. Let me see. My screen is paused. Then I'm going to tell you, that's absolutely fine. So Lepaya, as you might not be familiar with Lepaya, we are an upskilling provider, and we make sure that we design the best upskilling solutions for you, for the L&D professionals. And we make sure we truly drive impact. So enough talking about me. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to make sure that my presentation will work again. I would like to ask you, Alberto, to introduce yourself and also to introduce Flix, as we're going to dive into the topic with you.
Thank you, Juliet. Welcome, everyone. I'm Alberto. I'm from the name Italian. I'm based in Berlin, working for Flix since 3 years now. I'm part of the L&D team. Before was people organization team. I work for Flix now, as mentioned, almost for 3 years, and I'm taking care of the internal development at Flix that comprehend the whole demographic of more than 5,000 employees. As you know, Flix is a global company now. We drive sustainable, affordable travel for everyone, as you mentioned here. So we are a global company specialized in long distance. We are expert in mobility. We are expert in sustainability. We're expanding our routes and also our trains now with not just buses. So as you know, Flix is really famous in Europe, but we are expanding also in other country, India, Chile. USA, we have done M&A with Greyhound a few years ago, and now we just announced Mexico in 2025. So it's a company that is growing, our demographic is growing, and also it's a company that is just bought 12 years ago now, and with the idea on 14 years ago in 2011. And the company's changed a lot, and I'm more than happy today to guide you through our strategy, our L&D strategy also for the future in this time. And thank you so much for being here. I'm more than happy also to receive your questions and comments during the conversation, after the conversation with Juliet.
Yes, thank you, Alberto. And indeed, because this setup of this webinar is interactive, so everyone who is joining, you're absolutely free to add your questions in chat, or even unmute yourself and ask the question. I have also several questions for Alberto, so let's dive into that first, and then define amongst each other if you would like to elaborate on some answers. So first of all, you have already mentioned it, Alberto. I would like to ask you is that the last couple of years, I think you mentioned that your L&D department has been set up from 2022.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you went through like a lot of changes. And I'm curious on what kind of business transformation you went through, and
Yeah.
also what the impact of this business transformation has still on your L&D approach and strategy.
Totally. So we can say, so starting from organizational dimension, we passed from a startup to a scale up, and now we are a global actor as Flix. Also, we have the investor of Kühne last year and ATQ investor in Flix. So the company is growing in a direction where really becoming global company now, not just European, not just German company. We are completely a new type of setup in terms of organizational change. L&D was created indeed in 2022, and we have created L&D with a small cluster. And the priority at the time was to set up the performance management tool and starting to have offer related to L&D. So a design offer for specific group of employees. So we're talking about a product L&D centric vision in Flix. It was related to the four Flix competencies related to our asset of values. So it was offering broadly spread for seniorities, for example, and for specific case. So we had a competency model based, product oriented, and really we were in a way consulting the business to our offers, to our programs. In 2024, we made a change also in L&D. So we passed from a small team to a huge team, merging with LMS for our team that is dedicated to our Flix unit, so our internal offers and Flix that comprehend mandatory courses, but not just mandatory courses, also e-learnings and it with internal trainers. So really live learning in Flix. And we so passive from a competency-based model to now we are still in the phase to, and I say piloting in a way, to a business-centric L&D approach. What this means, it means that now business is sitting with us, with also a business committee to support us in the direction of the offers and the programs that we have in our organization. This shift brings us a strong emphasis on tailored learning experience that in a way reflects the specific needs for each team, department, and function. We are also go in a direction where the individual have a sensor, so the individual ownership and entrepreneurial mindset, where employees are in a way empowered to own their own development. So we are really focusing now in several dimensions in a way that we are not just offering something that could be intended as a benefit. So, there is this specific elective program, or there is this other e-learning digital program for everyone. We try to go in a strategic direction, really in alignment with the business and the capabilities like required from the business, really in a setup that we are aligned with the business transformation at the time.
Yes, thank you. And I heard you sort of saying, and also I heard it before, that L&D at Flix is also part of a people experience function. For me, I find it inspiring to hear, and also it was like, hey, people experience function. So you have developed such a department at Flix, and I wonder, how are you structured, and also what does this mean? How does it add value to your employee development journey?
Totally. So as L&D team at Flix, we are part, as you mentioned, Juliet, of the people experience function, which comprehend us as L&D team and the employer branding team and the talent management team or employee engagement experience team. So we are total around 20 people now. It's a huge team, and we have, as mentioned, we have merged with LMS, forming a single integrated unit as L&D team that manage the entire internal development offering across the organization. We've evolved from, as mentioned before, from a relatively small team into a more structured and capable function now. And the idea is to really working together to meet the growing demand and the complexity of learning deliveries in agile, scalable, and really efficient way, always in the same table at the same table of the business. Our goal, for sure, is to create a cohesive and circular approach to learning that is fully aligned with the talent development employer branding. So it's from day zero to the whole experience at Flix that we are trying to support the employee journey from really personalized business relevant growth opportunities through their time in Flix in the organization. So the idea is to have our function always align with people partner, talent acquisition, complement the whole HR department in a way that is not just an injection of L&D, but is a constant methodology of L&D into the organization and into the life of one single employee.
Yes, and what I found so inspiring is that you indeed add it to like an employee experience. So it's
Yeah.
really adding value for your employees, and that you're thinking of, okay, what's the best experience to bring to the employees? That being said, what I found also, I was diving into this with you while we prepared us for the interview. We were really diving into, okay, Flix has been gone through like an extreme growth. And what are actually like the main people challenges Flix is facing? And how did this extreme growth like influence your employee strategy?
Really great question. I would say at Flix, one of the main challenges is in the context of rapid growth and increasing, of course, competition, is retaining our talent and our best people in a way. And especially as we transition from really an organization that was more scaling up to a truly global one. So we have different demography at Flix. We have people that as their first experience at Flix and they're still in the company. So also in terms of leadership, in terms of people in the organization, we have really diverse folk. Retention, of course, becomes a strategic priority also in these times, and it's clear that traditional benefits intent of, as mentioned before, on product L&D benefits are not longer enough. Our idea is that we believe that one of the most powerful lever could be for sure development, internal development, enabling employees to grow vertically, laterally, cross-functionally, and across local and a global organization. To support this, yeah. Some question? No, okay. To support this, we have made or we are building really strong commitment to L&D, investing in high quality, tailored, and business aligned programs. I would say our strategy focuses on what people need, what they can acquire also through learning, and how we track the impact over time. So including retention, internal mobility, and career progression. I would say it's not just about attracting talent, but I want to say ensuring our people that can evolve within the company and are supporting navigating transition, and that we have a clear mechanism, I would say, also in place to measure the effectiveness of our approach. So on that, so today, for example, leaders want experienced, adaptable people, and that's why we treat L&D not just as generic benefit, but one of the pillars for our long-term people strategy. And I will specify later, but we are adapting the 70-20-10 model. So really learning on the job, which includes clear core competencies, 20% learning from others, and 10% learning from training. But more than happy to specify ahead.
Yeah. So maybe later on someone will ask a question about this. And so as we're talking about retention, and what I found also, it's valuable to share with the crowd that you have a different approach, because if you look at retention, it could also be that companies, they make sure that they raise bonuses or they raise salaries, and that's their way of retain people. But what kind of solutions are you implementing? And if you can share to retain people, and if you can share some examples to the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, massive layoff also was our part in the past of the German market, the European market through COVID, the war and stuff. And Flix always maintain and really a monolith in terms of managing the employees and the people inside the organization. They never done any layoff. We're really always putting the people at the center of our business priorities. As I said earlier, we have decided to evolve the L&D approach from being product oriented to acting as strategic consultant now, who bring real value to the organization and the business. This means align development initiative directly with the business goals and talents needs, rather than offering one size fits all solution. As mentioned before, the 70-20-10, so going more specific, really the 70% is learning on the job that include clear core competencies and career growth pathways designed for individual profiles, job profiles also, learning from others, so which include mentorship and trainer program internally at Flix, and learning from the training, so which include dedicated digital learning platform as well, the talent program. We are currently piloting new strategy that places business alignment, individual growth, and measurable impact. It means that we have a sort of business committee that also oversee our activities and support us with the right direction from the business, without having just something product. Is typically more say sometimes from HR perspective that in HR we speak about just stuff that we know what the people need. I mean, what better to have something sit with you at the same desk together, so with the business, and working for a data-driven model that ensure full trackability, for example, for our programs. At the beginning, we offer internal and external programs based on Flix competencies, as mentioned before, aligned with our asset of values and divided by seniority group for majority. Now we are piloting something new. So, I mean, we are working with one of our provider, piloting NIE and AI coaching program. So they're not just for employee and leaders, but also for specific group of employees, with the goal of experimenting also with coaching at all the levels of the organization. Not just for desk-based people. We are growing a lot for Flix Train, and we will have demographic and also employee population that will comprehend a lot of people, what we call in the past blue collars. So we're also trying to understand, okay, what we can offer something also to them that is the same level of the other people, treating them at the same way. Another example that we are implementing at the moment is also piloting, is a specific program for, in this case, the revenue management team. Is a team that is deeply involved in the organization and the business, with a lot of stakeholders, from local stakeholders, so MDs from the countries to the global organization. And we are, for example, here putting together the digital learning through our provider and internal trainer. So we're doing a mix it tailored perfectly for one department. In this case, are 12 people specific, chosen by us and the revenue management team, that we can try really to support them and giving them skills that they have to deal with the whole day long, I mean, with their function. Revenue manager is really strategic team, and we would like to empower this team really to have more competences to really deal with a lot of stakeholders that they have in the daily work life. The third example that we had, we launched and we finished a program also called Accelerator here, was a program specific for operation people. So as you know, Flix has its presence. We have our presence in the countries because we deal with bus partner. Our business model is a B2B model. So sometimes we acquire the bus partners. Sometimes, for the majority of the time, we collaborate with the companies in the local countries. So we have the teams that are really expert in the field of the country. So Italy, Spain, we have a lot of operation managers that they have to deal with the stakeholders with the local language also. What we have noticed that if I'm an operation manager that would like to work for the global organization, is really hard for me passing from a local perspective to a global perspective, so a global position also. So what we built is a experimental accelerator program of project management. So working with the global team of project management, in this case was Operation Excellence team, and we built a program related to here, not a department was, but a specific job function, uh, putting a lot of effort in internal trainers and also here digital learning. So integrating external provider with internal trainers, and the result was really successful. We really hope that these people have acquired, and the result seems really proficient, have acquired skills to be ready for a global role, for a global position, so in the future. So this is something that really made us really happy, really proud to give to them some skills, some knowledge from the global team that sometimes when you work in a so huge organization is hard to get. If you're working for a local country that maybe is new. So we're talking about, for example, India, Chile, they are completely new countries with a new multiverse of connection and type of business there. So they're really sometimes really new words for us also working in this type of new countries, new organizational stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Ralph, he added also a question for you. And you sort of touched upon it, but I think it's good to elaborate on it a bit more. How do you determine which employee needs which capabilities? And how do you derive the capabilities needed at Flix? How would
That's
you,
that's a great question.
explain that?
So of course we have several variables. I mean, so we have the performance management that is the first objective one in a way. Let's see the word objective, but it's a data, and we starting from that. Then we work really as a sparring partner with the people partner. We have a huge team of people partner, global and local. So locally we have expert people partner that really know the team from the beginning, or they know really the qualitative needs of the team. And this division between global people partner, local people partner is really successful in the way that as we center of expertise, we are working really in the same direction and always updated from the local needs to the global needs. So the combo is, of course, variables related to the objective data that we have of employees. So performance management, tenure, location, role, if the person has of the function specific needs in terms of departmental needs, and then is a combo between center of expertise and people partner here for sure. So what I can say is this, if could reply to your answer. We're still work in progress, of course. Is the definitive? No. What we would like to have is really an updated also function. I mean people partner that really know the needs of the team of the organization, and these people were selected by the way, if we go directly to this program, these people were selected by a selection process between us as L&D and the expert global team. So there was a selection process here, while for the revenue management, no, we really pre-selected the people working with the leaders.
Yeah, yeah. And I was also wondering that so thanks for your answer. I hope, Ralph, if you have more questions, you can always share them in chat. Because in L&D, we're talking a lot about impact, return on investment. And I think it's super important we talk about this. And we also make sure we measure the return on investment. How do you approach this? So what kind of KPIs are you tracking at Flix?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So as mentioned before, the L&D started in 2022, so we have not so many times to have the trackability. In a way, we have just a couple of years. So first preview on that. But we are tracking now. We are piloting. What I can say, we are piloting. It's not definitive. We are still really in agile walking way, piloting this. But we are tracking general KPIs and in three different levels: learner impact, learning objective or achievement goals, and business impact. On these three levels, in the first level of analysis, we have some KPIs related to number of participation, attendance rate, internal and external NPS from the participant, during and after the program, so gathered from participant, leaders. Now we're starting to have also feedback from the leaders and providers. And in the second step of analysis, so on the learning objective, we analyze if the person acquire after 6 months. We are thinking also after 12 months, something to apply in his or a current role at the moment. So we are trying to understand from the leaders and from the participant of the previous year if there is some effectiveness of after completing the program, and specifically with Lepaya. So as you know, also we are here also because Lepaya is one of our provider. So we are really now piloting an analysis on one program of Lepaya. It's called FlixPert, that is related to senior and expert manager at Flix.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed, because
Yeah.
you informed us about Flixpert, and
Yeah.
it has involved like 24 leaders and senior experts, and
Yeah.
you have run like 2 cohorts. Can you share some figures?
Yes, totally. So as mentioned before, we are monitoring key indicator like promotion rate, lateral moves, and salary increase before, during, and after the program, as well as turnover rate. So this could support. This is not the solution, I want to say. This is just a piloting, but we are trying to understand if this data could support us to assess retention in the company with and without training exposure. What you can say that the retention rate is around 8. So we're talking about here 2 core 2023, 2024 of 12 people each. So it's a small number. I'm sure that if everything is fine also on our side, departmental side, we will apply also to other programs. Here, the 3 level of analysis, so learning impact, learning objective, and business impact, we have retention rate is around 87%. So meaning the most participation have stayed with the company. So this is a good data for us to say, you know what, the program was successfully. They are still in the organization, is great, nearly 90% of them. Of course, it's 24 people on 5,000, but we're starting to have this data. Secondly, we have 54 of the participants that have been promoted before, during, and after the program. This pop up as some questions, if I've been promoted before the program, is this program benefit for me, or is this program something that I really need? So as mentioned before, we're passing from a product L&D to a business-centric L&D. So last year, for example, the program incorporated this cohort of people that were exceeding performance, but also the needs of improvement, to put together a classroom that can really collaborate with each other in a sense of the people who needs improvement are with the people that are the best in their roles at the moment. So the promotion rate is the data, how we can evaluate this data. This year will be a little bit different because we will focus more on key talents. But what does it mean, key talents? So we are still figuring out how we can really present this data in a way that they are really coherent with the program, with the expectation, and with the outcomes. What you can say that next year will be really our goal this year is to continue increase this percentage of maybe participants that have been promoted or had lateral move, and the retention rate. But the question is, if they're promoted after the program is a data. If they've been promoted before is another type of data. So we're still investigating on this. We are also currently, in a way, in terms of KPI, running post-program assessment. As mentioned before, we're asking to the manager and the participant whether the program's outcomes and skills have been effectively applied on the job.
Yeah. And
On that, we're also evaluating whether there has been an increase in responsibility in these individuals through internal MPS and to their leaders. One last, I would say, interesting data is related to retention. Within our analysis, retention among this specific group increased because also we have checked our internal tools that is a tool maybe some of the company are using. It's called Picon, and we have internal analysis, monthly analysis to the whole employees, and the data in Picon reflected a really high engagement of the participant of the group that participate in FlixBet. So this is another data, but this is too rough as data. We'll say we are still really in the beginning phase. So we have seen that people are more engaged. We have seen the people are staying, and we see the people there is a good performance rating. Is it enough? I don't know. I would say, could this program be one of the variable that impacting retention, influencing promotion outcomes? This is something that we will find it out. I would say also from this year to from the last year to the next that will come.
Yeah.
Given that there's our elective program, so both the nomination process and the resulting retention trends may be worth exploring in the future. It means that there's programs where people were elected and nominated by the people partner. Was not a program just as a benefit, but was an elective program where we really try to put the effort to say, you know, you have to really to participate to this program is crucial to participate because we have 200 applications and just 12 of them, 24 in this case, can participate.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also think that if there's like a nomination process,
Yeah, exactly.
if when that's yeah, when that's the kickoff of a program and you're nominated, that's also
Mhm.
like brings a lot of added value to go to the program and also to stay at Flix. I mean, a
Yeah.
nomination is super valuable. And so you have been talking about the last couple of years and what you've went through, and also what you're piloting, and the figures you already see. So what's next? So actually, if we look forward and we look
That's a good
coming years to come,
question.
and what are the next steps for Flix?
Yeah. So we are placing, as mentioned before, increase on internal resources for sure by prioritizing individual development. So we have done this amazing, I would say, as also form. And so we have in Flix around 300 leaders, and we made these talent for all forms at the end of December 2024, where the response rate was 50%. And within these 50% of people, we have also asked you know you are a leader, you have an expertise, a knowledge, and in Flix as growing in the last 10 years we had a lot of expertise in several fields, not just in mobility, but we have really an amount of leaders that come from different type of also experience around the globe and from other backgrounds. So we are really diverse in terms of also leaders knowledge. So we ask to the leaders, would you like to become a trainer, or can you nominate someone in your team that do you think could be a good trainer in Flix? And we have a great response of 75 nomination of people that are interested to become a trainer and they would like to really use their knowledge and share within the organization. So we are really try to work and how we can maximize impact through internal expertise. Then we are actively working on leveraging internal knowledge hubs for to foster learning at scale. We are still in process, I would say, to define what is a key talent at Flix. We are still in a phase. What does it mean for us to ensure that our efforts in a way is targeted, inclusive, and aligned with the long-term business goals. Then we, as now L&D, LMS together that are forming L&D team, our presence is increasingly seen as a consultative, proactive, and guiding function. It means that we are not just seen as someone that deliver learning products, but actively shaping solution in partnership with the business. And this is amazing for us in terms also as HR. I see really the potential to work together for the business strategy and people strategy contemporary. So we would like to position ourselves as strategic advisors while still being deeply involved in operation. So ensuring that the learning is both impactful and executable across teams and functions. That's for sure. So yeah. would say many things that will come.
No, but super good. And also that you are working as that strategic advisor and you're truly connected with the business and that you add value to the business. I think, as I also introduced myself, I think this is the main goal of your role
Yeah.
and for all the L&D professionals amongst us. Yeah. So talking about L&D professionals amongst us, I'm curious if there are anyone of the crowd who has, because I would like to switch towards the Q&A round, if there are some questions. And if so, feel free to share them in chat or even unmute yourself. That's absolutely fine too. So let's see what comes up.
I'm also more than happy to receive suggestions if you have something from your organization.
Yeah. So if there are any suggestions, for example, it's always
Yes, I think I will ask a question.
yes, thank you. Hi, Chanel. Great that you
Hi.
yourself. Welcome.
Sorry, just give me one moment. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so hi Alberto, great insights. So my question is, as an L&D professional, while working in an organization, I also felt that sometimes it's a bit difficult to get the stakeholders buy-in because you understand the importance and of any initiative, but sometimes stakeholder or you can see the long-term future of that initiative, but sometimes the stakeholders cannot. So it do you have any kind of that experience where you have to really convince a stakeholder to do any kind of initiative or come up with any kind of L&D training, and it was really difficult to buy in them? So yeah, I would like to know that.
You mean internal stakeholder or external
Yeah,
internal stakeholder?
internal.
Internal, yeah. So what we are building now with the people experience team is also a sort of um, some we are working is our in a way in our roadmap and everything. We are working in a group of 3, 4, 5 people to understand really what are our needs in as a department at the moment, how we can interact with the amount of stakeholder we have, because we are talking about stakeholders from the provider externally, internal leaders, coaching, individual needs sometimes, and also we are also walking in a direction where the stakeholders can ask us some suggestion of trainings for their people. So we're also working as a consultant in contemporary. So we are consultant, we are HR, we are L&D, and also we are strategic advisor. How the question is how we interact with this different stakeholder, how we organize our if you can be a little bit more specific, Chanel. So
I think a bit more on how you get buy-in from your stakeholders.
that's yeah. Yeah, I would say sometimes being I don't want to use this word, but sometimes being a hammer in terms of really pushing them. Um, Sometimes we have the feeling also that the leaders, for example, or in general, our internal stakeholder do not understand completely if this is what is L&D,
Yeah,
how we need
exactly.
L&D, how we need L&D. But then you have the data of feedback form, performance management. I have to evaluate my people. My people are not really happy. They are completing the internal MPS and stuff. So L&D coming exactly like this is we enable them, and we, for example, built now a day. Today we have also this amazing day that is called Own Your Development, where we have open call with the organization, and we try to really answer to all their questions related to L&D, what we are doing, what we are standing, why we do not have more learning budget for this or for that, and why we're investing on this other direction. So we have first open call with the whole organization. Secondly, we go deeper through the department. So we have with people partner our constant connection, and with the other people inside the HR department. So the second dimension is department. Third dimension is, I would say, senior leadership team. So we have a direct connection with the senior leadership team. As mentioned before, we are talking about 300 leaders and 70 people that are part of the senior leadership team, more or less. Then we have a fourth direction, I would say, that is related to our ticketing. So from the individual that ask things, and we have a digitalization system with Jira that they can ask everything on us, from asking from a training to a specific needs. So I would say we are really working on several dimensions, and it's not easier, I would say, because L&D is something that is seen, why we have to put money on our people, or what is the result? How I can evaluate if I invested well in this training on that. It's a matter of timing. Speaking also with some of other providers, L&D measurement is one of the most difficult to do. We are just starting now to understand if it's part of return on investment of organization. This is something that you cannot see in a closing financial year. This is something that you can see at least in a cycle of 3 years, at least minimum, I would say, because in 3 years the organization like us changing a lot. So I would say minimum 3 to 5 years you can really starting to see the results. So I would say the great result that we will see, and then I close the answer up to have answered to you, is really maybe we started a in 2022. Now we're doing the first analysis. I would say 2027 we will have a great data analysis after these 3 years of analytics. So, yeah. So
Thank
at
you,
least
sir.
5 years
Yeah.
from the beginning of Flix L&D team. Yeah.
Thank you, Alberto, for answering that.
Is it clear for yeah? Thank you very much for asking your question. Are there other people amongst the crowd? Yeah. Linda, I see your question in chat. What have you learned when transitioning from a startup mindset to a global L&D structure? So what have you learned?
That's a great question. So you cannot take the things individually and take your own project and deliver it for first. So before with the startup mindset was really what I can say, we had really a reactive modality. So there is the needs you have to cover quick and now. So we didn't have needed the time to think, okay, and now what is really the needs of the population of the person of the department. So passing from that one to something with more processes, more time, spread it in a longer time, put us in a position where really we can work on the concept, on the content, on the design, on the delivery, and make it more agile than before. Because agile, as mentioned, was really reactive. I would say now with this structure, we have also a knowledge in the team that put us in a position where we could be also proactive, always with the business alignment, of course. But I would say this is the biggest challenge. So the quickness, of course, with the startup modality, we were delivering a lot. That's for
And
sure.
Alberto, so if you would say like one thing, so what have you learned? Like one thing. So what was like the main thing you learned?
Eh, to be, this could be really obvious answer. To be really adaptable, if you know how to work in a startup, I mean, you can, and you integrate the startup mindset into a corporate ones. I don't know if you know how to come back at some point. So this is the thing. But I think adaptability and the capacity on working on stakeholders in a different way. This is, I think, something that I learned because, as mentioned, really our now reaction and proactivity is really different from, I would say, 3 years ago when I started in Flix. So that's two things, adaptability and stakeholder management, I would say.
Strong learning here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, regarding because I'm looking at time in the meantime, I would like to share you also a tool of Lapaya. So I don't think, because I look at the crowd currently and I look at chat, I don't see any other questions. So as a roundup for the webinar, I would like to give you all an insight on a tool of Lapaya. As we have been talking today about retention, and we've heard about the story of Flix and how they they make sure that people retain at Flix. So what we have done at Lapaya, we have just launched a retention tool. And you can find this tool via our website, and I believe it will be shared in chat currently. So to go to the website and then analyze your retention strategy and also get some advice and some tips and tricks to use. So this is what we would like to share with you too, to end up the webinar. Basically, yeah, I actually would like to say a big thank you to you, Alberto. And I really liked it that you have shared your case. Would like to thank you that you were able to be open and share with the crowd. And also would like to thank you all for joining the webinar of today. And maybe Alberto, you have a last takeaway for today.
I mean, I would put always L&D at the same level of the other priorities. If you want to keep your people and till the company are made by people, I mean, L&D is top of priority for sure. And it's not something that's just spreading around, but till the company are made by people. And we will be for a long time still, so yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. And for all of
Thank
you,
you.
have a really nice day and thanks for joining.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.